up, guys? SeeJayAre here with some reaction to the Nintendo Switch event press conference. This is just going to be my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch. I am a Nintendo fan. There's going to be people, I'm going to say some negative things about what happened tonight. As you can see behind me, I obviously love Nintendo. That's why I feel like I have more like a vested interest in the company and what they're doing. So just remember that when I say that that was the worst, probably the worst, one of the worst press conferences I've ever seen. The only thing that I could think of the whole time I was watching that, I was just remembering the Xbox One press conference where they started talking about not being able to share games and stuff like that, and how the train wreck that was, and the negativity that came towards the console after that press conference. I saw a similar thing tonight. There are very few people. There's going to be Nintendo fanboys that are going to say that press conference was fine. The majority of the feedback from that press conference and in the comments and chats has been very negative. I myself was actually a little bit angry as the press conference was wrapping up. That was it. I felt like they missed a whole bunch of opportunities. I felt like they missed some key components of any press conference, especially a console launch. So I'm going to start off at the top. I have a little list here, and the first thing I'm going to mention is it really should have been in a Nintendo Direct format. Much more organized. You saw there was issues with translation, it being in Japanese. It really should have been, they would have been able to convey their message far better during a Direct. If it were a Direct, I think it would have made a lot more sense. That being said, with the information that they did give us, it still would have been poor. So the release date, that was one of the first things we saw was the release date is March 3rd. I really would have liked to see them actually release it on the 17th or even later, just to give them a couple more weeks in development and get things ready. Maybe some more games would have made it to launch. I'll get to that in a minute. The price, I expected this for the console to be between $250 and about $350 US dollars. So the problem with that is here in Canada we kind of get screwed. So that's $299 US is $399 Canadian. The problem with that is it puts it right in line with the PS4. You can actually get a PS4 cheaper or an Xbox One cheaper with a bunch of pack-in games. So the comparison it's really hard considering the PS4 and Xbox One are more powerful consoles. We assume, it's pretty safe to assume, because they didn't tell us the specs. How can you not mention the specs of your console in a console announcement? I don't know how that's possible. People are going to say specs don't matter, Nintendo's not competing with those other systems, that's not what they do. Specs do matter because specs affect battery life. Specs will affect the games that you're going to get on this system. If it's not able to run I don't know, Doom, if it doesn't have the power to run Doom, then that's a problem because they're not going to get the third-party support. And if Nintendo doesn't get the third-party support this time around, they're done. Like with consoles, they're not going to go under, but their console life is going to be over. So specs affect that kind of stuff. So really, really weird that we did not see at least mention what, like if it's running on the Tegra 1, 2, that kind of stuff. So that was really strange. So, okay, another thing I'll mention with price, this is something I always say, it's like the power versus price. So I would rather see a more expensive system that is capable. I think the worst thing you can do is release a cheaper system that's underpowered and can't provide those types of services that I just mentioned and play those type of games. So I actually would like to pay a little bit more to get a better system. So since we don't know the specs, the price could still turn out to be pretty good. If it's running a really good processor and chip and flux capacitor and doodads and all that kind of stuff, if it's a powerful and capable machine, then I have no problem paying the $399 Canadian. So what they should have done, and what they started to do in the press conference right at the beginning, is talk about the DNA of the Switch and how it includes components of a whole bunch of different systems from the Nintendo family. I feel like they should have played into, that was a perfect opportunity for them to play right into the virtual console. They mentioned nothing about virtual console, and when they didn't, I was like, okay, well, they probably can't fit it in. But in hindsight, that's something that had to be in there, considering what they showed. They showed a whole bunch of strange stuff for the type of presentation it was. They really should have gone into virtual console. Virtual console is going to be a big thing for people buying this day one, just due to the fact of the lack of games that they're going to release for this thing on launch day. So I really would have liked to hear that Mario Sunshine's coming day one. I want to know what's coming day one. That's my big thing. Now, I should have said this at the beginning. More information is trickling out like right now. So by the time you see this in the morning, by 10 a.m. Eastern time, by the time the treehouse starts, we could have all this information. I'm kind of just right now talking about the presentation itself. So yeah, lead to VC talk. Next on my list here, no pack-in at that price. When they were showing 1-2 Switch, I was like, I'm like, oh great, here we go. First off, 1-2 Switch, I was like, oh great, they're trying to go back to the Wii. Not really what I wanted to see. I think it's a nice addition. I think it's nice to be able to play those kind of experiences, but not a reason why I want to buy this console. So I felt that was a bit of a misstep. The biggest misstep was they said it's launching alongside the console, and it wasn't a pack-in. I was like, oh cool, they're going to pack this in. It's a bunch of mini games, small experiences for using the new Joy-Con controllers, which they mentioned have motion control and stuff like that. So I was like, great, this will be a cool little pack-in. Not a pack-in. That's absolutely amazing. The next game they showed was ARMS. It looks like a $15 downloadable game. It looks like it would be 30 minutes of fun. I'm not that impressed with ARMS. Is it going to be a full retail release? Am I going to have to pay $69.99 for, or $79 here in Canada for ARMS? That'd be pretty crazy. Super Mario Odyssey looks fantastic. I can't wait for it. As I was watching the conference, I was watching with Game Rally VT, my buddy Matt. He was on the phone, and he's kept on saying it's going to be launch, it's going to be launch. And I'm crossing my fingers. Please be launch. If I can get this and Zelda at launch, I'm a happy man. Holiday 2017. That was the biggest kick in the nuts in the whole entire conference for me. It's way far away. Nintendo likes to do this. Space things out. It can be really annoying. Things get delayed, and there's like 9-month gaps. I think I heard that it was 700 and something days since there's been a big Nintendo release. So super annoying. It's way far away. We'll be thinking about that around Christmas. So that's pretty disappointing. Splatoon 2. I love Splatoon. I was hoping I would have been happy with a port from the Wii U version to the Switch with a couple, with all the DLC and all the new levels and stuff like that. Maybe a couple new characters or something like that. Would have been very happy. They announced a full Splatoon 2, which was a little bit shocking to me. Again, I'm like, release date, please be release date, not release date. Another game that's not going to be at release. So that was extremely disappointing. I really liked some of the like being able to play Switch on Splatoon on the go, play with other people. I'm pretty pumped for Splatoon. I really like Splatoon. In general, where were the Wii U ports? Where was the Mario port from that we expected? It would have been easy for them to have, if they don't have any games for launch, it would have been easy to make the Wii U game on the Switch with a couple added levels. Same thing goes for Smash Bros. None of these games showed up. And if you don't have games at launch, these are perfect things to do. Get them done and get them out for launch to sell with your new console. Mind-blowing to me how Nintendo fails to understand this stuff with their launch. The Wii U launch was horrible. It's been really bad. Going into Mario, some more information has come out since the conference that I've seen. It's going to be called Mario Kart Deluxe with new characters, new courses. You can carry 2 items, and apparently that's coming out April 28th from what I heard. Why they would not mention this in the conference and would spend all that time mentioning kind of niche titles, which I love. Suda51, No More Heroes was mentioned, but the guy, he just comes out and says, we're working on a game. Doesn't show anything. We don't know when it's coming out. Why do that? Same thing, Shin Megami Tensei. I love these games. It's fantastic that these games are coming. Um, why mention them? Why take up that time? And why not use that to mention, okay, Mario Kart's coming this date, Splatoon's coming this date, the new Mario game's going to be out this time, and have a structured release date with some decent launch titles. Pikmin 4. Where the heck was Pikmin 4? Pikmin 4, I feel like, is a game that it's been in development for a long time, apparently. That could have been at launch. If we could have got a Zelda and a Pikmin at launch and a couple other third-party games, it might have been a decent launch. But as it's shaping up right now, launch doesn't look so good. What else do I have here? Battery life. I should have mentioned that with the specs. I should have gone into that further. So they mentioned battery life is 2.5, 2.5 to 6 hours. Huge range. That really doesn't tell us anything. It tells us that the bare minimum is 25, which is just below ridiculous. You'd really want to see a minimum of 3 hours, and that's what they're actually saying. You'll get 3 hours of gameplay on Zelda. If it's a legit 3 hours, I can deal with that. Apparently, it includes a Type-C, USB Type-C connection, which allows really fast charging. So if you're able to just pop it into the wall, car charger, and get that battery back up, like another, if you can sit there and plug it in for 15, 20 minutes and get another hour of battery life charged to your system while you're playing it, something like that, then it's going to be doable. The screen, apparently, I should have gone into this with specs, but 720p, stuff like that is important. Like I said, 720p actually makes a lot of sense for this handheld. It's a 6-inch touchscreen, I believe. Doesn't necessarily need to be super high definition. 720p screen will be a lot more easy on battery. So the game cartridges themselves were not shown, not talked about. SD card, no mention of SD card, but it has come out. I believe that it's going to be 32 gigabytes, and then you'll be able to expand through SD. I would have liked to see that be at least 64, maybe even 128 built in, and then be able to expand. SD cards are going to get a lot cheaper, so that's not really an issue. The games themselves, it'll be interesting to see how much data they can hold. I know some games are upwards of like 90 gigabytes. I highly doubt that one of those cartridges is going to be able to hold 90 gigabytes. I'd be really, really surprised and impressed. The Joy-Con controllers, I actually really liked. I thought that was really cool with the little piece that adds on. When they showed those two little buttons on the inside, I thought that was genius because that really changes it. And if you can, so like a game like Mario Kart, if you can have your thumb on that left stick, the controller might be super small, but as long as you can have those buttons with your pointer fingers there, then you can play that experience. Being able to move your finger around on 4 face buttons might be a little tough, but if you can hit 2 right there, it should work. So that was big. I like the little attachment thing. HD Rumble they announced is another, it's just got to be another term for Rumble. They called it HD Rumble with the glass of water and the ice cubes. They went way too far into that. I guess it's kind of cool. I don't know how that's different, really that big of a step up from any other Rumble. I guess this might be the type of system that we really have to get our hands on before we make a judgment on it. But like I said, I'm just talking about my impressions of this conference generally. So the online. Okay, so this is going to be a really big point of contention today. They mentioned that it's going to be an app. So a companion app while you're playing the game. You're going to be able to see chat or hear chat through your mobile device. It's going to be free for the first while and then eventually a paid service. Along with that paid service, you're going to get access to a NES game and a Super NES game. And the Super NES games apparently have online multiplayer, which is pretty cool. Great thing to mention during your console reveal press conference, going into the virtual console stuff. I can't believe that they skipped over that. I can't believe they skipped all that stuff for the stuff that they showed. It was complete mess. I can't believe that they did that. So another issue, they mentioned that the service would be free to try and then would go to a pay service a couple months later. The problem there is this console is going to be so limited. By the time people actually get it, they're not going to have time to have that free trial. So I don't know if it means you'll get a couple months yourself, but I think it was a timed, like, It's going to be free for March, like until summer, and then they're going to start it as a pay service. I'm pretty sure that's how they're doing it. Peripheral price. Here's another big kick in the nuts. It was released that the Pro controller is going to be $69.99 US. That's $80 for a Pro controller here in Canada. For another set of Joy-Con controllers, $80 US. That's over $100 for another set of those little Joy-Con controllers here in Canada. If you want to buy just one, apparently they're $50 US. So if those are legitimate prices, and from what I'm seeing they are, that's absolutely crazy. You're paying a third of the console price for 2 more controllers. Absolutely nuts. I guess, okay, I should say I was actually really excited before this press conference for this system. When I saw the initial announcement, I was in. I thought it looked super cool. I did have some reservations. I wanted to know the power, the battery life, which we still don't quite know. But I was in, ready to pre-order. I have all my money saved. Gamer Alley VT, my buddy Matt and I have been saving. I had an envelope all ready to go. I'm all saved up. After that press conference, I was legitimately angry at what they announced and how they went about this and the lack of information, to the point where I wasn't going to pre-order it. I've since backed off of that. I'm going to try and get one. They're going to be extremely limited. They're going on for pre-order here in Canada, at least, hopefully, if we can get them, at 9 a.m. at all online outlets. And then Matt and I are going to try and go in-store at EB GameStop to try and pre-order them. So hopefully we can get one day one. I am still going to pre-order it. I'm going to pre-order, and then I'm going to come home and check out the Treehouse stuff, and more information I hope is going to trickle in through the day and make me more positive about, and get the taste out of my mouth from this press conference. And I think that's going to be the way it is for a lot of people. It's just really unfortunate that an event that had so much hype left so many people so angry after watching it. I'm hoping that the information that comes in the next couple days, as people get hands-on and we get some previews of the system and games, that those opinions start to turn around and they can bring back some more excitement for the Nintendo Switch. That's my rant on the Nintendo Switch. Like I said, I'm still going to pre-order it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about the presentation itself, and what you are thinking about the Switch, if you're going to pre-order it or if you're just going to wait. I'm obviously not a normal person, as you can see. If I were just an average Joe, average gamer, I probably would not be pre-ordering this, but I like to try these things out. I'm a techie. That's what I do, as you guys know. There probably really wasn't much of a doubt that I was actually going to pre-order this. So I am definitely going to pre-order it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, just do me a big favor, hit that like button. And till the next episode.